Yo, welcome to the Annex, and this time I'm going to be talking about the Digdat and Bouncer situation. So, usually you can probably see on our channel we do a lot more reaction type videos, but recently we're trying to incorporate some more think pieces and thought pieces on the UK scene and things that are happening. I mean, my boy, we also got podcasts coming up as well in the works, so make sure you subscribe and like the video, and make sure you stay up to date with our upcoming releases, because it's going to be a mazza. But let's get into this one. So in this video, I'm basically just going to summarize what happened, and then we're just going to talk about it, innit? So recently in an interview, Bouncer explained what happened with him and Digdat, and that's on Bouncer's new podcast, I'm pretty sure. And I watched a bit of it. I watched like, I think, an hour, 15 minutes of it. And fam, and then I can't lie, after a while, like, I just read the summary online because it was a bit long. And I was pretty shocked, fam. But yeah, luckily, 30 side on an account on UK Drill Reddit forum, he basically summarized it. So let's get into it, fam. So the way it started off, yeah, Bouncer was cool with Digdat's brother and Pen, and he asked him to manage Digdat. And then Bouncer basically was in the studio and recorded a bunch of songs and called it, including the Air Force. And then Bouncer paid for the Air Force beat and studio time. And it was Bouncer's idea to release Tactics first and preview Air Force at the end of the video. All the cars and the jewels in the videos were supplied and paid for by Bouncer. He also paid for the billboards. Air Force was released a few days after Homerton Beat with barely any promo, but did the same sort of numbers. Bouncer basically had all the connections to the industry, from artists to IG pages. He also reached out to K-Trap and Kretzen Cohn to do the Air Force remix. Bouncer claims he pioneered the viral song and the remix to a popular artist format. So basically how if you release a song, then release the remix, they both count together. That's what they're basically talking about. And so from just this start, yeah, you can see that Bouncer's heavily involved in Digdat's career and his come up, and he's been putting a lot of money into Digdat. And like the thing, I'm not surprised with the cars and jewels. Like most artists that rent their vehicles, like artists, like they're not really caking it. Obviously they're caking, but not caking it like that to like have that much, fam. Like a lot of it's just cap, if I'm perfectly honest. But yeah, let's get on to after. But yeah, let's get on to After Air Force, innit? So after Air Force remix charted, Digdat reposted gigs calling Kretzen Cohn frauds and glory hunters and saying they jumped on Digdat's hype. And Digdat was living on Bouncer's sofa for 6 months at this point, which was a bit of a mad thing. Like that just shows like a lot of artists, they can be the most popular thing in the world, but these times like Digdat was living on man's sofa. That's a mad thing. And then Digdat went and made a song with Lowski a few weeks after saying he didn't really rate Lowski. And yeah, that's just a typical thing like with London rappers, fam. And then Bouncer ended up getting Digdat a 70k single only deal with a label for No Cap, and obviously No Cap blew up as well, which is a mad thing. And then after No Cap was released, Digdat started getting onto tours and being brought out by other shows. Well, Digdat started getting brought out at other shows by other artists, so Kretzen Cohn and Ali Pali. And so from here, yeah, my thing, like, a lot of people don't realize that artists, a lot of them, as much as they flex in all their videos and thing, and they're all this drip, as Mozart said, bare man look like rich, but they just got drip. A lot of these man, like, how many man have their own houses? Like, how many man have like actually got their finances patterned? How many like a lot of these men probably putting money into their personal account instead of their business account and getting like freaking income tax instead of business tax, which is business tax is a lot more less than income tax. Like a lot of these men are actually lacking on this thing because they just spend all their money on stupidness. So now we're going to talk about, we get to Digdat getting his first deal. So Hardy reached out to Digdat to do Guten Tag. When Bouncer heard it, he told Digdat it was going to be his biggest song, but Digdat did not want to release it. A month or two later, he realized it and it reached top 18 in the charts. Digdat had 4 labels fighting over him. Eventually, Bouncer got him a 300k deal for his first mixtape, plus 50k to live in the mansion. Bouncer and Digdat and Liquor Man were to live in the mansion. Digdat was alright with this. As soon as the deal was signed, Digdat said he didn't want Liquor Man to live in the mansion, so Bouncer was like, alright, and him and Liquor Man dipped. Bouncer wanted some of the 50k for him and Liquor Man to get a new place, but Digdat said no. At this point, Digdat had dropped his brother and stopped talking to him. Bouncer continued to give his brother money. The total contract Bouncer got Digdat was just under $1 million for a year. The labels were taking him to Hakkasan to convince him to sign for them. Drake used to message Digdat and he'd take a week to reply because he didn't want to look beggy. Eventually they signed with Columbia Records. Bouncer's management fee was 25% to cover the thousands he put in. So now let's get on to this one, yeah. So that was a bit of sneaky move from Digdat, me. Like for me, I don't rate that at all. Man was like, yeah, we're all gonna live together. Then just like as soon as the thing goes through, man's just like, no, no, no. For me, I can't rate that. And then man doesn't even want to bust Bouncer any money, especially as Bouncer was like paying bare money for all these things before. Like Bouncer was saying for the ads for Air Force, he was paying £50 a day, fam. Like that might sound like a little bit of money, but £50 a day adds up, my brother. I'm telling you. But yeah, Digdat also dropped out his brother. Like, what type of thing is that? And like, you can tell, like in the interview, Bouncer was always talking about family a lot. Like, he proper wanted to look after Digdat. Like, Bouncer checks for his peoples and he respects his peoples. So I'm like, so that's why for this whole thing for him, I can see why it seemed like a massive betrayal. But nah, fam. Also, the other thing, yeah, man was taking a week to reply to Drake. Fam, come on, fam. Like, Drake is like, when Drake knocks, you come running, my brother. But like, that just shows you how you can tell just by that one thing how, you know, well, I don't want to get onto Digdat, but it's clearly a bit of immaturity in it, because like, fam, you don't want to just like think of the platform that Drake could have given you. A man's taking a week to reply. Like, what type of nonsense is this, fam? And these times, more time, I know you're in the crib doing nothing, so there's not really an excuse for it. But yeah, that part is just especially mad to me. But like, you just think like a lot of artists, what they do to get even a freaking message from Drake, let alone a potential co-sign or whatever. So nuts. But let's get onto this part, fam. 8 Mile now. Bouncer reached out to the label about this mixtape and they had no plans for it, so he took control. Pitched the idea of linking up with H to do 8 Mile with the video idea. H's team wasn't feeling it at first, but eventually they convinced him and his manager. Bouncer reached out to D-Block's team for a collab. Bouncer had to convince them to do the video for New Dior. Then Virgil Abloh invited Digdat and Bouncer to Paris for Fashion Week, linked up with Potsmith there. Bouncer and Suave are not on talking terms because Bouncer wanted Wilder to do the 8 Mile shoot. Digdat wasn't keen on the video idea. So in this part, there's not really that much going on, to be honest. And it's just, I feel it's just usual manager politics and just people not really believing in Bouncer's vision. But at the same time, like a lot of people, it takes a lot of time for you to force things through. And at the end of the day, the 8 Mile video was a massive success. Now we got into Cadet, yeah, and this was the one part that, yeah, this part slightly pissed me off. But yeah, Kretz reached out to Bouncer asking if Digdat could do a verse on the project. Digdat said that it was forced and refused to do it. Cadet was one of the first big artists to promote Digdat and brought him out at one of the shows early on, and this refusal hurt Bouncer because his family personally requested to do the Digdat feature. For me, yeah, I can't rate Digdat really after this. Like, man said no to do like just one verse on like a tape for Cadet basically, and these times Krept had brought you out, you got Bouncer sharing out bare money, and it just shows fam, like, just mad ungrateful, and just shows how like even people in your own circle that you thought you could trust, no matter how much you loved them, they could always do you over, fam. So it it was probably just a data point for Bouncer that he can just take on Digdat, be like, rah, you're saying no to this, like Cadet's like family, fam, so you say no to this, say nothing. But clashing with label and current situation, this is the last part. And so the label claimed Digdat went over his recording budget by 50k, the H feature cost 30k, and D Block cost 10k plus studio time. Bouncer claims the labels want artists to go over their recording budget so they have you trapped. Digdat left his previous lawyer for a new one. His new lawyer is the partner of the label's president, which is fam, let me read that again, yeah. His new lawyer is the partner of the label's president. He is not beating any cases, fam. He's finished. And so Krept and Conan want Digdat on a new project, going back with Dr. Velli. Digdat refused to jump on it, saying it's forced. And a few months ago, Bouncer was called at 4 AM in the morning to set up Digdat and Future track. And yeah, I don't know what's happening on that one. But Bouncer got AJ and Love Island manager post Digdat's trailers. Oh yeah, he also got Youngin to post it as well, and do like a video basically hyping it. So shout out Youngin. So also these parts are Digdat hasn't paid £1 in taxes. Apparently he's got 400 bags worth of a tax bill. which, fam, Jesus Christ. Digdat also owns Bouncer 100k, but no official contract between them, which is an L for Bouncer basically. You should have patterned that. But obviously, you learn, you live, and like you just gotta learn things the hard way, innit? So Bouncer will bounce back from this easy. Then Bouncer, he also said he expects Digdat to be one of the big targets in UK soon, but said he struggles to make good full songs that none of the tracks on 8 Mile or Bar New Dior are proper songs, which is a bit of a matter, and can't even lie to you. I'll be interested to see what he actually means by that, because I need to actually watch that part, because that'll be very interesting to see how he breaks that down. But for me, I'm just going to summarize this last part and everything in total. Just shows how in this music thing, can't really trust anyone, and a lack of maturity on Digdat's part. I see mixed reception of the situation though. A lot of people are saying that Bouncer shouldn't be a chatty patty, and that certain things should stay behind closed doors and they should be resolved behind the scenes. But I can understand why he wanted to create transparency, especially when Digdat's been said a few things on Snapchat in the past, and that Bouncer probably just wanted to come clean and transparent with his fans, especially as he's starting off his new podcast. At the same time though, we haven't heard Digdat's side, so who knows what could have actually happened. Like, Digdat still got something to say, so, and he said a few things on Snapchat as well recently, so I want to hear his side of the story. But at the same time, it also shows you got to pattern your legals, and like, obviously Bouncer didn't know this because he only just came out of jail and he started managing, so it's understandable. Like, you're not going to be 100% clued up on the thing. Like, even Bouncer said he was asking his brethren for help and thing, but at the same time, like, them and the artists are not managers, so he can only learn so much, and they only have so much time to spare. But now Bouncer, like, he'll bounce back from that, as I said, fam. But this Digdat 400k tax bill thing, this is gonna hit him hard, fam. It's gonna hit him very hard, especially as like, if he was gonna pay the others, probably hoping on the festivals and thing this summer and all the shows and the tour bookings to basically pay that off. But now you're here, fam, and you got 400 bags that you gotta rise up from somewhere, and Lord knows how it's gonna do it. More times probably gonna be from selling your masters, if we're perfectly honest. But fam, that's going to be a peak one, and that's going to be a very techie one. It's going to be a very harsh financial lesson from him. He's going to have to learn. But yeah, as I had to say, fam, I really don't rate the paying off of the not wanting to do the cadet feature and the airing of Drake for a week. Like, one, the cadet thing, like, come on, fam. If his family pays you, like, helped you on your come up, and then you don't even want to do them one favor, considering how many they done you. Like, for me, I can't rate that. And then also the Drake thing just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if Drake hollers you and like you just air out of your own pride, like, for me that just shows, like, well, to be fair to Digdat went jail at a young age, fam. Went jail at a very young age for a very long time, and he's literally just come out. And so if you miss that large a period of growth and education, like, obviously it's gonna have an effect on how you behave and how you interact with people. And like, for me, like, I'm nervous Digdat's on a road where he's gonna be burning bridges and throwing away blessings, fam. Like, almost like a Kodak type thing. Like, he needs to be very careful and calculated, like, just in the moves he makes and the way he treats people. Because the way I'm seeing that he's treating people that are extremely close to him, these labels, they don't care about you. Like, especially because Bouncer was saying they're just taking him to Hakkasan and stuff to make him sign. But like, all this stuff just looks nice, yeah, but these men don't care about you, fam. They'll lock you into like a blood contract, and then these times you'll sign for, like, deeper, his lawyer is the label's president's wife that will sign like that, fam. Like, when she's looking over your contract, she can manipulate you so differently, fam, and like, she does not have your best intentions at heart. Like, you want someone in your team that you can trust to properly look over that thing and understand it and make sure you get the best deal. Like, this is how artists get locked into things like 5 album deals and then their labels basically controlling the whole life, fam. There's all sorts of mad. But for me, yeah, like, I don't know. I'm disappointed in Digdat, fam. I actually liked him as an artist, but after hearing all this stuff, then it's a bit, I don't know, it's messed up my thoughts about him. But at the same time, I'm gonna wait until we hear Digdat's side of the story first. I feel that's gonna be very, very interesting to see when that comes out and see what he says. So yeah, fam. But yeah, you, man, let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comments, and like what you think what you think is actually happening behind the scenes, whether there's something that Bouncer's not telling us. And yeah, let me know just your thoughts in general. And last for listening, fam, and I'll catch you on the next video.